Hello everybody, just wanted to do a quick video here of the best way that I've found to fully flush the hydro fluid on an Exmark laser, should you happen to get some contaminants in there or maybe some water, which is what I'm dealing with. So the problem that I had was this hydro fluid reservoir and hydro system here, pump and wheel motor system on the Lazer. These caps are prone to break, or sometimes guys will cross thread them, is probably the majority of what the issue is. And when that happens, when it doesn't make a proper seal, you can get water down in here. And Florida, where I bought this mower from, has heavy seasonal rains, so it just ended up getting a lot of water down in there. And what that does is, obviously it's not good for your system there. There's a lot of tight tolerances and everything, and creates a lot of wear on the system. Kind of makes like a cottage cheesy kind of texture out of the hydro fluid, and that's not good for lubrication. So it's very important, if that happens, to get all that out of there as much as possible to reduce wear in the future. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with. And unfortunately, I made a video of doing this same kind of thing on a walk behind, but it's much easier because I was able to set up a system that allowed the mower to run, and then I could flush out both of the sides at the same time with hydro fluid and run it until it was clear. So you can check that out if you want to, if you're working on a walk behind. But unfortunately, the Lazer is a lot more labor intensive because I can't think of a way to do it while it's on the mower, because it's a sealed system. So there's no pipes to tap into, tubes to tap into, or anything like that to flush it out. Best way I've found is just to do it manually. Basically, you have to take everything off. So anyways, began the process. I pulled off, you jack up the back, and then you got to have two jacks here to lower down. There's a bracket that sits underneath it here. It's 5 3/4 inch bolts, these two, and then 3 that are down here, and then a couple of deck hanger bolts you got to take off, the 3/4, and then your steering linkage, you got to unbolt that, and then your park brake linkage. So yeah, unbolt all that stuff, and then I set it over here, and I took I'm working on the left side of the machine. So if you're sitting on it, it's the left side. If you're looking at it, it's the right side. The other side, because it's a sealed system, this one was not contaminated, so I just did a hydro oil change on that one, and that one should be fine. But wanted to get all the water out of this one before I start to use it. So take it over to my bench. I set it up on the table, and you begin by taking off the 3 or 6 bolts that are underneath of here, as well as taking out the filter. You got it on there, and the way that you take these 6 bolts off, you have to get the pulley off first. I found a simple way to do that is they come pre-threaded, or with pre-threaded holes. These are a 10 millimeter bolt that I just got from the hardware store, and I drilled a hole in this plate here, made my own kind of puller. I'm sure if you have a puller that'd be much easier, but this worked just as well. You just set that on there, and it ended up pushing against the shaft and pulling my pulley off pretty easily. So they're pressed on there. There's no keyway or anything like that. So yeah, you just pull that out of the way, then you can zip your 6 bolts off there. The top, I was a little scared about pulling it off because I didn't know what was in there and how it was set up. But you can, it is safe to put a pry bar underneath of this part here, and kind of, if it's kind of stuck, I mean, obviously you want to be very careful because you don't want to damage the metal, but you can push up on there. It's not going to hurt anything, and kind of break any kind of stuck gaskets free that you have on there. So yeah, I did that, and then I kind of went around and worked it free because it was pretty well stuck on there. Anyway, so you pull this off. Oh, one more thing. There's a little piece that goes on top of here if you put a pry bar underneath it there, you should be able to pop that off. That's pressed on as well, but you should be able to pop that off pretty easily. It's just a little mounting piece. Looks like this for the cooling fan sits on top of there. Anyways, so moving on, you take the reservoir off and set it aside, and now is when you want to be really careful not to get any further contaminants in there than what you're already working with. You'll find it looks like this in there. You can take these off and set these in a clean place. These two pieces, I've already had this apart, but I put it back together for the video. These two pieces sit in there. One sits like this, and what it does is when you move your handles, this slides back and forth like this, sort of rotates like that, and this sits in there like this, and just kind of, that is the connection between the two. But it sort of pivots like that, and it's really interesting. So when the motor's running, this is spinning around, whichever way the motor spins, and when you move your handles, this is sitting on there like this, and so it'll pivot this way or that way. And what that does is when it pivots, you're either pushing these pistons down as it spins or pushing these pistons down as it spins. And what that does is these pistons have a spring in there, and they'll fill up with fluid, and as they go around, if they're either going down here, or if you got it pivoted the other way, they'll be going down here, and you're just kind of either pushing fluid through one of these two tubes. And when it goes through one of these two tubes, it goes through the wheel motor, and it causes your wheel motor to spin the right way, you know, whichever way you're going, forward or reverse. So yeah, really interesting system here. Anyway, so you take these out, set them in a clean place, because any little bit of dirt, and this is kind of a cluttered workspace, but I'm trying to be as clean as possible. But so I set all of these out, set them to the side, and then you've got your two channels here. One of them is down here, you know, the tube comes down here, and it's down here, and then your other channel is here. So what I've done is I would loosen this, set it at kind of a slant so that it can drip into my, just kind of an angle, lean it back, you know, set this down so that when it comes out, it'll drain into my tank there. And then I've taken this funnel and I've run it into this side and made sure that's nice and clean. And then I'll take my 15W50 that I've set elsewhere. I'll pour the 15W50 in here, and then when it's sitting there and I've got enough in there, I'll turn this with my hand, and what that'll do is that pumps the new fresh fluid through here, turning it with my hand through the wheel motor, and then pumps it out here. And I don't have a way to hold the camera and turn it, but if you do that, it'll push the creamy fluid up and out and into your oil drain until you'll see, if you keep doing this, you'll see it eventually clear up. And then that's when you know you've gotten all the contaminants out of here. And then you can begin the long, lengthy process of buttoning everything back up and putting it back on the mower, and then you should be good to go. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've already flushed it out, so there's not any contaminants in there. I'm going to kind of mop up this mess with some paper towels. And another friend I've found for this job is a turkey baster. So it allows you to suck up some of the contaminants that get stuck in here, and then you can mop up the rest with a paper towel. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not as simple as the walk-behinds from what I've found, but that's the best way that I can see to do it. If there's anybody else that knows any better, I'd be happy to take some advice from you. But yeah, just leave a message in the comments if you got something, and thanks for watching.